Bozianis about Tank saying that he's going to retire at the end of this kind of year. He's going to have a few more fights and he's going to retire. Do you understand where Tank's coming from with his comments on that? Because you're someone that lives kind of the same lifestyle as Tank. You're under the same pressure. Do you see why he would maybe want to retire?
Oh yeah, I get it. I understand it. It's a lame ass game, dog. Like, I think boxing has turned very lame. So there's a lot of politics. It ain't about what you know. It ain't about how good you is as a boxer. Sometimes it's like.
Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on his rival Gervonta Tank Davis planning to retire this year. However, Eddie Hearn gave an update on the possibility of a fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. He mentioned that the fight is a great matchup, as it's the best fighting the best. Hearn also said that while he and Lou DiBella have always made great business deals, it's still uncertain if this fight will happen this year. He added that if the fight does happen, it could open up more opportunities for future collaborations between Matchroom and PBC.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I think that's a different animal. You know, myself and Louis DeCubas have always made fights. We've always done great business, and this was another example of that. It's a great fight. It's the best v the best. You know, we'll see if that opens up any doors to work more closely together this year.
Canelo Alvarez praised both Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. He described Stevenson as a good fighter who moves well and is difficult to hit. However, Canelo expressed his preference for Gervonta Davis, highlighting his power and ability to go for the win. He said that if he had to choose, he would put his money on Gervonta.
If you had to put money on a fight, I know you don't bet on fights, and the fight was Gervonta Davis against Shakur Stevenson, who would you say would win?
Look, Shakur Stevenson is a good fighter. He moves a lot, and it's very difficult to get hit, to hit him. But I like Gervonta Davis.
Okay.
He's a really good fighter. He hits hard, and he knows how to go forward. So I put my money on Gervonta.
Chris Algeri praised Gervonta Davis for his boxing IQ and game-changing power, saying he's better than many give him credit for. He noted that Davis can find the right shots and believes in his power. Algeri pointed out Shakur Stevenson's hesitation and concern about getting hurt, which showed in his fight against Dos Santos. He believes Davis can take advantage of Stevenson's slow pace and land the big punches that will give him the edge in a fight between the two.
Gervonta is actually a much better boxer than he gets credit for. He has a very good boxing IQ too, but man, he's got game-changing power, and his ability to believe in his power and find those shots is important. And the Dos Santos fight showed you Shakur has some limitations, and it comes from up here. You said he's a cerebral fighter. Yeah, well, he thinks a lot about being protected, being protected, but getting hurt by guys. Dos Santos, very dangerous puncher, made him handcuff himself, tried to slow the fight down. Listen, Tank likes a slow fight as well. So now I think we're going to have a very, very slow matchup between these two. But the guy who's going to be landing the game-changing power, he's going to hit you on the elbow, he's going to hit you on the hip, he's going to get on the inside, he's going to work his way in. Davis has the ability, based on the Dos Santos hesitancy from Shakur, to take advantage and take rounds and to land the big power that he's got.
Kermel Moton described the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis as a 50-50 matchup that could go either way. He pointed out that we haven't seen Shakur's chin tested yet, so it's unclear if he can take Davis's powerful shots. Moton suggested that if Shakur can withstand Tank's punches and keep landing shots, he could win the rounds and possibly the decision. However, if Shakur's chin can't handle Tank's power, then Davis might take control. Moton leans towards Shakur, but he's unsure about the outcome.
Do you agree with him?
I don't know. That's also a 50-50 fight. You know, that could really go either way. We never seen Shakur's chin tested, so we don't really know if he has a chin to take Tank's shots. But because he don't get hit. But maybe he does have a chin. He takes Tank's shot, and then he just keeps landing, winning them rounds. Because Tank give away rounds. Maybe he wins unanimous decision. Or maybe he doesn't have a chin, and Tank does what he does. So I don't really know. I'm gonna lean towards Shakur though.
In an interview with Fight Hub TV, Timothy Bradley has called for the fight to be made, but admits Tank holds the key to making it happen. He stated, "Tank's the guy I want to see Shakur fight, but I already know what will happen. Shakur is going to have to take short money if that's what's going to happen." He added, "They're going to use things against him. They're going to say, you don't sell out any arenas. You don't bring anything to the table. They're going to say, you're going to run all night. They're going to say everything they possibly can for this fight not to happen, but I think the fight should happen." Bradley is tipping Stevenson to come out on top due to his superior defensive skills. He further Rosier said, "My money is on Shakur. I think defense wins championships. I could be wrong. Tank is an animal and he can fight, but he has yet to be in the ring with a guy as smart as Shakur and a guy that's on this IQ level. I got Shakur because of his defense. You can't hit him. You cannot hit him. Tank has the bomb, but if you can't land that bomb or figure out a way to land that bomb, then how is he going to beat him?" Andy Rosier praised both Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, acknowledging Shakur's talent as a boxer and Davis's knockout power. He described the fight as a classic puncher versus boxer matchup, with Davis being his personal pick because of his ability to get opponents in trouble and knock them out. Rosier emphasized that if Tank allows Shakur to get too far ahead in the fight, he may not be able to catch up. However, he also noted that if Davis can capitalize on any mistake Shakur makes, it could end the fight quickly.
Well, I tell you like this, Shakur is a talented fighter. Tank, that's like my ride and die. I like guys that get people in trouble and knock them out. So I'm always riding with Tank. It will be a spectacular bout. I mean, you have the age-old puncher versus boxer at its best. Now, if Tank allows Shakur to get ahead too far, then he might not be able to catch up to him. On the flip side of that, if Tank gets in there and Shakur makes a mistake, it only takes one for the lights to be out.
Rosier expressed his excitement for the fight, calling it a 50-50 matchup and looking forward to seeing how it plays out. While he respects both fighters, Rosier made it clear that he's backing Davis, as he always supports the fighters he believes in, even though he admires both Shakur and Tank.
I'm waiting to see it, I want to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. It's another 50-50, but you know, I'm Tank all the way. So I got to ride or die with who I ride or die with, even though I love them both.
However, Shakur Stevenson talked about Gervonta Davis's retirement, saying that boxing has become kind of boring. He feels like it's no longer about being the best boxer, but more about who you know. He thinks the sport has too much politics involved and isn't focused on skill like it used to be. He understands the situation, but still feels like it's a shame.
Oh yeah, I get it. I understand it. It's a lame ass game, dog. Like, I think boxing has turned very lame. So there's a lot of politics. It ain't about what you know. It ain't about how good you is as a boxer. Sometimes it's like who you know. So yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand. That's on him.
In another recent interview, Shakur Stevenson shared different thoughts about Gervonta Davis's retirement. He said retirement was soft, and that if Davis wanted to retire with the career he has, that's his choice. But Shakur disagreed with it. He also mentioned that he's not into chasing people for fights. If Davis is willing to fight, Shakur is ready, but he's not going to go after him. He made it clear that he doesn't need Davis and doesn't want to be made to look like he does.
I mean, if he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So I disagree with it. I think it's soft, but that's on him.
Do you still think that fight's possible? I know he might have a break after that fight with Lamont Roach, but do you feel like you guys could fight 2025 or 2026?
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't into chasing people around. I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen, but I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit there and chase you and then, you know, he could try to make it seem as though I need him and I don't need him. So
On the other hand, Gervonta Davis said that Shakur hasn't done much in the sport and hasn't achieved anything. He also mentioned that Shakur's defense isn't enough to win in boxing, comparing it to sports like basketball or football where defense alone can win games, but not in boxing. When asked about people claiming that he's afraid of Shakur, Tank laughed it off, saying that in boxing, if you're afraid, it's because someone can hurt you. He emphasized that Shakur doesn't have much offense and relies too much on defense.
Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him. Who that? The Keyshawn. Keyshawn looking way more better than this. I keep screaming his name. He haven't done nothing. Keyshawn haven't even done nothing.
So what do you say to those who
I
might
keep
be
saying
afraid?
his name for?
So what do you say to those who might be saying that, you know, Tank is afraid of Shakur?
Afraid of what? Afraid of what? Us fighters, if we're afraid of something, it got to be somebody hitting us and hurting us. Like, he don't have no offense. Everything is defense. Defense only winning basketball and football. That shit in boxing.
In another interview, Gervonta Davis responded to the idea of facing Shakur Stevenson, saying that while Shakur is a good boxer, he doesn't think he would be the hardest fighter. Tank argued that Shakur hasn't done anything outrageous in the ring. He doesn't show exceptional power or defense. Davis pointed out that he's never seen Shakur slip a punch, and instead, he just backs up or moves around a lot. He criticized Shakur's offense for being predictable, saying it's always the same thing. Tank made it clear that he feels it would be easy work for him in a potential fight.
6-7 more fights and I'm naming names. One of the guys, obviously, you and Shakur got into it on Twitter. You was like, you wanted them 6 or 7.
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
For sure?
Yeah, he's definitely one of them.
Do you think that's going to be your hardest fight?
Hell no.
Nah?
Wow.
Because he a good boxer, nigga. Like, that's one way I look at y'all two as the best in the division.
How? Show me something that he did spectacular. Show me something that he did outrageous. Show me.
Right,
his power not outrageous.
Okay.
What defense?
You don't think he got defense?
He just jumped back. You never see him slip no punch. You never see him slip no punch. Go look at it. You see him back up from a lot of people. Back up, move around, move around. He don't got no technique. And his offense is the same thing. If you go look at his fights,
so you
I
feel
probably
like
put him on game.
Yeah, hold on, but you feel like it's easy work though. You like,
come on, bro.
Moreover, Zaquin Moses thinks Shakur Stevenson could beat Gervonta Davis just by being himself in the ring. He believes Shakur shouldn't let the media or outside pressure get to him and should just have fun, like Shakur always tells him. Moses is excited about the potential fight, calling it a big one for boxing. He thinks both guys are good fighters, and it would be an amazing match. But he also feels that when they do fight, a lot of people will be surprised by how Shakur makes it look, suggesting he might make it look easier than expected.
I feel like he beat Tank just being himself. Just being himself. Don't let the media get to him. Don't let any outsiders get to him. Go in the ring and be yourself. Have fun. Like he tell me, be yourself. You feel me? I don't know. It's really crazy because I really want to see them fight. I think that's a big fight for boxing. I feel like Tank is a good fighter. Shakur is a good fighter. And when them two, if they ever do clash, it's gonna be a great fight. And I feel like, for real, like I said, my opinion, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be disappointed on how Shakur make it look.
Kenny Ellis, a co-trainer for Gervonta Davis, believes a potential clash with Shakur Stevenson is not a 50-50 fight. They can't be 50-50 if Tank can punch and Shakur can't punch, Ellis said. They both can box. They both have a great IQ. Let's say Tank is behind and he has to get himself out of trouble, and that hammer is going to get him out of trouble. Now let's say Shakur's behind and he got to get himself out of trouble. How is he going to get himself out of trouble? He doesn't have a hammer, so they're not 50-50. They can't be 50-50. During the back and forth beef with Gervonta Davis, Terrence Crawford tweeted about Davis ducking Shakur and wrote that Davis should grow some balls and fight Shakur. He further mocked him about his girl leaving him. ShowBizz the Adult gave his take on a fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, saying he just can't see how Shakur could beat Tank. He made it clear he's not saying it's impossible, but from what he sees, Tank's style is just too much for Shakur. He pointed out that Shakur is slick, but not slick like Tank. Tank can move in and out, countering punches without getting hit, while Shakur's elusiveness isn't quite the same.
I can't imagine a way Shakur can beat Tank. I'm not saying that it's impossible. I'm saying with these eyes, I can't see it. Here's my thing. The one thing Shakur has, he's not. Shakur has slickness, but he's not slick. The best way to explain this is Devin Haney. Devin Haney isn't slick. He's athletic, but he's not slick. Who's slick is Tank. Tank was in there swimming without getting wet and countering. He's actually the slick fighter. Shakur is elusive, but not slick.
He also mentioned that Shakur doesn't hit hard enough to hurt Tank and won't open up enough because he'll be intimidated. ShowBizz is confident that if the fight happens, Tank will knock Shakur out. In fact, he said he'd bet $10,000 on Tank for the win.
And here's the thing, he also doesn't hit hard enough to hurt Tank. And he won't open up enough because he will be intimidated by Tank. Tank will knock him out. If that fight's made, I'll put 10,000 on Tank for the knockout.
Mike Tyson weighed in on a potential fight between Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis, saying he'd go with Tank to win. He acknowledged that it would be an interesting matchup, noting that Shakur can take a good shot and is a specialist in the ring. Tyson pointed out that while Shakur might not always look exciting because he's so technically superior, he's still hard to beat. To really bring out the best in Shakur, Tyson believes you need someone like Tank who can pressure him. Tyson emphasized that Tank is a monster right now and would make the fight great.
Mike, who will win out of Shakur and Gervonta?
Gervonta Davis?
Yeah.
I like to go with Tank. You know, everyone's gonna go with Tank, you know. It would be a very interesting fight. Shakur takes a good shot, though. He's a specialist. That's why some fights that he doesn't look good in, because he's so superior. He is boring watching sometimes. But he's a specialist. He knows what he's doing. He's hard to beat. To bring out the best in Shakur, you gotta pressure him like Tank. Tank will bring out the best of him, and we'll see a great fight. Tank is just a monster right now.
Danny Garcia talked about a potential fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson, saying it would be a great matchup. He praised Tank, mentioning that he's too strong for anyone at that weight. However, he also acknowledged that skill-wise, it would still be a great fight. Garcia expressed his appreciation for the discussion.
That's a great fight, you know. I like Tank. I think Tank is too strong at that weight for anybody. 40, but skill for skill, I think it's a great fight. Great fight.
Danny, appreciate it, Danny.
Ali Malignaggi has given his backing to Stevenson and thinks the Newark man would get the job done. He is the best pure boxer in the sport. Nobody can touch him, nobody can beat him, including elite level guys, said Malignaggi. Shakur Stevenson would beat Gervonta Davis and make it look pretty easy. Davis's power is always a wild card, but Shakur Stevenson is way too good. Robert Merriweather believes Gervonta Davis would win against Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, citing Tank's experience and power. While Shakur and Devin have strong boxing skills, Merriweather thinks they may not have the power to keep Tank off them. He feels Shakur needs to build more muscle and power to handle Tank's aggressive style, which is something he lacks for now.
Against all the other guys, I mean, in my opinion, I got Tank. But I do feel like it's a tough fight between all of them. They have really good boxing skill, boxing IQ, and they know what they're doing in the ring. But with Tank, and he has the experience on them because he's a little older than them, and he has the pop. And we don't know if Shakur or Devin has the pop to keep Tank off of him. I mean, you know, he goes in there and he's just looking to kill. So he takes a shot and he's gonna give it right back. So we got to see if Shakur is gonna be able to build that muscle up and build that power up to keep him off of him. But for right now, he's not gonna be able to.
Keyshawn Davis believes Shakur Stevenson would win the fight, praising his superior skill and defensive abilities. He emphasized that he always favors the more skilled, defensively sound fighter. While acknowledging that Gervonta Davis has phenomenal offensive skills, Keyshawn pointed out that Tank is patient and waits for opportunities to catch opponents off guard. He believes that Shakur's skills and approach would give him the edge in what would be a tough, closely contested fight, probably ending in a split decision.
I think Shakur will win. I think Shakur got better skill, and of course he's just better defensively. I'm always going with the better skill, the better defensive fighter. Tank's skill is phenomenal, but I just feel like he's offense first. I feel like he's offense first, or I feel like Tank is the type of fighter where he'll either be offensive first, or he's very, 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 very patient, and then just try to catch you slipping. You know what I'm saying? And certain fighters, it's just smart. So I just think Shakur will win that fight. It will be a hell of a fight, a hard fight, and it's definitely gonna be a split decision. But I got Shakur.
So what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Tank Davis? Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.